Okay, Saka.
No be Falcao and Falcao no fast to deliver. That kind of don't sleep.
Okay.
This has bad side to my father with the military.
Bukayo Saka.
Kolasinac.
Is it Kolasinac? Yes, Kolasinac.
Or Tierney.
Okay.
With his 3 games.
People have been injured now.
Okay.
You put that for side 3. Then for side 2, I'll go for one bear, Saka.
Okay.
In a one bed.
For midfield, let me see. I'll go for the passer but not the marker. Jorginho.
Okay.
Yes. I'll go for Jorginho. Then I'll go for who else do you want to have there? Many of us are the
Guendouzi.
and I'll put Chelsea to food there.
Guendouzi.
I'll go for my guy in front. I'll go for what's his name? Arsenal 10. AK Ozil. Oh, God bless you, Mesut Ozil. Yes, I'll go for Ozil. I'll go for this corner themselves. Yes, the corner I will have
Martinelli.
Odion. Sorry.
Okay.
This Ghanaian I Chelsea where they Chelsea. I don't forget that it is. You know why they
Hudson-Odoi.
Forget anything.
Hudson-Odoi.
Yes. Odoi, who do ya?
Oh my goodness.
Then the other side I would have put Christian Pulisic.
Okay.
In front. Odoi Gallo.
Yes, we've seen that coming.
Best player is Lingard.
Okay.
Go win Premier League.
I said to the MPF on our way. You try.
tried.
Thank you very much for your team. We'll go win MPFL. Hello, good afternoon to you. As if anybody would want to allow that team. Yes, welcome to the show. Any more you're calling us from?
Yeah, my name is Dennis. I'm calling from Origo.
All right, Dennis. Keep it very short and simple.
Yeah, in this EPL best player without Wayne Rooney. I'm surprised. I'm surprised to hear that. Please.
Okay.
Wayne Rooney is better than Thierry Henry, Aguero. Where are them now? Wayne Rooney is better than them.
Okay, that's your take.
No, yeah, please. Yes, no, yeah, today they don't deserve to be in that list.
Okay. Yeah. All right, thank you so much, Dennis, for calling. Hello, good afternoon to you. Hello? Okay, that's a silent caller. You can call us back if you want. Let's go to our text message portal.
Yes, and the WhatsApp portal. If Kiss from Oyibo says Aguero out, Henry in, then he says my EPL team of the season is Alisson, Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, Virgil van Dijk and Andy Robertson, James Maddison, Wilfred Ndidi, Kelvin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, Marcus Rashford and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. And Sports Gang, Victor from LMS says Kevin De Bruyne is the best player in the EPL this season and someone intentionally, deliberately and wickedly left him out. Haba, the most chances created, the most final third passes and the most assists.
All right, our phone lines are really blinking. Let's go take your calls. Hello, good afternoon. Today's Sports Live.
Dorcas, I greet everybody.
Estelle, good afternoon to you.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Top 11. First, Alice Becker.
Okay.
For Liverpool. Second, number 2, Liquita. Number 3, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. 5 and 6, Maguire and Virgil van Dijk. You go to midfield, you see Giorgio, Kevin De Bruyne, and Wilfred Ndidi.
Okay.
Then you go to the forward. You now check Mane, the Aguero top 9 and Real Sterling finish.
Okay.
He give me team that can win Champions League without no disturb on the road.
Okay.
They can beat any unbeatable. So that is the best team for the world now currently. If you select those 11 players, they will win you World Cup.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much, Eto. I think it's right that DFM does this virtual football, so we'll know who would win all your teams. Hello, good afternoon to you. Today's Sports Live.
Good afternoon, Douglas.
Good afternoon.
I'm Elijah from Adajos.
All right, Elijah, keep it very short and simple.
Douglas, I'm in pain, seriously. God, I believe the Fed rate never managed to get that unbeaten record, to beat that national unbeaten record.
Yeah.
I wonder what could have happened. How can somebody bring Alexander Arnold for the whole
We feel your pain.
Thank God they did not
And then
manage
annoyed.
they did not manage that invisible record.
Okay. Thank you so much. I'm so sorry. See, I could feel your pain from here.
We felt that way too. We felt that
Alexander
way too.
annoyed.
Hello, good afternoon to you. Today's Sports Live.
Yeah, good afternoon. My name is Steve.
All right, keep it short and simple.
For me, I can go with 4-4-2. At the back, I can go with Maguire, Bisaka, Van Dijk, with who again? Which is defender? Yeah, will I go? I can still go with Mane. I can manage David Luiz.
Okay.
Then, just I can manage David Luiz.
Mm-hmm.
Then, at midfield, I can go with Kevin De Bruyne, Fernandez, Son from Tottenham, with Raheem Sterling. Then I can go with Rashford with Aguero, or Aubameyang with Aguero.
Okay, you don't have a goalkeeper.
Goalkeeper, I can go with Liverpool goalkeeper. I would have gone with Man goalkeeper, but Liverpool goalkeeper is the best.
All right, thank you so much. I thought you want to leave your goalpost open. Hello, good afternoon to you. Today's Sports Live.
Yeah, good afternoon, Doctor.
Good afternoon to you, Chuku. Yeah, I know your voice whenever you call in. Go on.
Yes, Doctor, my question is, the ESPN all-time Premier League players, what is the criteria? Is it by performance or by trophies? Or my brother, I want to understand why
It's their own concern. They give themselves what they thought is okay for them.
Okay, what they thought is okay for them.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing, I miss the good old days where nobody cared what happened to Liverpool. See, they even put us on the bench. On the bench, and people are even talking, why is that not there? He's on the bench too.
Why is he on the bench? He's not supposed to be on the bench.
So for me, if you pick, if you just why is people not recognizing Henderson? Not because I'm a Liverpool fan. I think the man has improved this season. Nobody's talking about Henderson.
Okay.
I think has improved. Yes, he's a player. I don't really used to like before. But I think he has improved. I think you can't talk about this season and not include Henderson. I will pick Henderson every day. I mean, for this season,
all right,
even more than 5. I wouldn't even include Fabinho.
Okay.
I'm talking about my Premier League team this year. So
right.
I think Henderson has improved. I don't know why people are not seeing it. Maybe because of the old image you have about him. I think he has improved.
All right, Chico, thank you so much for our message portal. Victor?
Yes, this message is coming from Joshua. He says Wiki is his top 9. And then, Precious Tam from Rumibo says team of the season, Alisson, and Arnold, Van Dijk, Soyuncu, and Robertson, Ndidi, De Bruyne, Madison, Mane, Aguero, and Rashford. And Obina from Warati said, the last time I checked in 2000, the only Liverpool fan in Port Harcourt is China Acheru. Where are all these people coming from? Bikonu. Alisson out, Robertson out, Van Dijk out, and Mane out. And then Samuel from Port Harcourt says, this one I'm not seeing Kovacic's name. Are you guys not watching matches? And this message on a non-sender says, good day everyone, my first 11 is Becca. I think this is supposed to be Van Dijk. It says Van Dijk, Van Dijk, Conor Coady, Arnold, Robertson, Ndidi, Fabinho, De Bruyne, Sterling, Mane, Adama Traore, and Sergio Aguero.
Okay, so phone lines. Okay, we lost that first call. Let's go to the other one. Hello, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you.
Oh, the real gift. Good afternoon to you.
Thank you. Good afternoon to my chiefs in the studio.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
My community lady.
Sir?
It is an abomination for you to stand inside water and use saliva to wash your face.
Yes.
Arnold to be on the bench. Not just bench, to even be within the periphery.
It shouldn't be in the stadium even.
It's an abomination.
It's love of football.
As for the ESPN people, we were told in my community that because the Lord looks after me like a sheep, does not mean I will drink the urine of a sheep. For me, I don't accept that thing.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Rigo. I like when he calls.
Words of wisdom.
His mouth makes me laugh. Hello, good afternoon to you today.
Hello.
Yes, space. Welcome back. Keep it short and simple.
Thank you. My Premier League 11, I think I'll put the Liverpool goalkeeper.
Okay, listen, Becca.
Yeah. Yes.
Or Adrian, which one? Be specific. They have two.
No.
Should be under Adrian.
First goalkeeper.
Listen, Becca. Okay.
Yes. Then my defender, I think I'll pick Wan-Bissaka, Harry Maguire, this Chelsea guy, Tomori.
Fikayo Tomori.
Yes. And Van Dijk.
Okay.
Then my midfielder, I think I'll go for Ndidi.
Okay.
Because De Bruyne and okay, then I'll put my Mount there. I think his number is still good.
Okay.
Then for my strikers, I think they'll be Aguero, Mane, and Jamie Vardy.
Okay. All right, thank you so much, Face, for calling. Hello, good afternoon to you. We lost our call. Victor, we have any messages coming in?
Yeah, just one more message. I say Michael from Buguma says nobody's mentioning Jamie Vardy. How can the top scorer of the league not be in most people's team of the
Somebody
season?
just mentioned
everybody going with Aguero. Vardy is better than Kuhn this season, and the message just came in saying you people should talk about the world best 11 now. Puyo, Messi, and Torres will make it for me.
We will try that one next time, but this time we should say about it. We'll speak about the league. Hello, good afternoon to you. Today, Sports Live.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Name, where you calling us from? Keep it short and simple.
My name is Frank. I'm calling from Aoda.
Okay, go on with your thoughts.
It's the player of the team of the year. I go with
Hello?
Sheffield United goalkeeper.
Okay, that's Dean Henderson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, your background is so noisy and we can barely hear you. Phone lines is 0817 0000951 and 081095100951. We've kept the guys in here so quiet. Timmy has been here since. But let's go back to the phone lines. Hello, good afternoon to you. Today's Sports Live.
Hello?
Yes, hello, good afternoon to you. Name, where you calling us from?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. Yes.
This is Darlington.
Oh, Darlington. What changed today? Oh, is another Darlington?
Hello?
Yeah, go on with your thoughts.
Okay. I just want to talk about the Liverpool issue.
All right, keep it short and simple.
Yes, people have been always every time they just finish with 1 point last season. You understand? So I don't know whether finishing with 1 point behind, whether it's achievement. You know, remember there was a time you finished the same point with Man City. Yes, Man City won that league with goal difference. So winning good, losing league on goal difference and losing it with 1 point, which one is more closer?
Goal difference.
Yes, so I don't see how people look at it. Last season, Liverpool finished 5 points behind Man City. I'm right. So it's not that as if they are doing something that nobody has done to them before. So the way people are going on out in 5 points. Remember, this is they are playing more games more than Man City. Man City have more games to play. I hope I'm right. So maybe I feel that the league will let us see what should be the gap difference they are at the end of the day. So that is what I want to say.
All right, thank you so much, Darlington, for calling into the program. Victor has been laughing. I don't know the message that's making him, laugh all the. Victor, go on with the messages.
Well, someone sent a message before saying Alisson out, Robertson out, Van Dijk out, Mane out. It apparently wasn't done. He sent another message saying Arnold out and Becca out. I don't know if Alisson and Becca are two different people. And this message is coming from Chibuike or from Egbelu. He says my best 11 is De Gea, Virgil, Maguire, Wan-Bissaka, Robertson, De Bruyne, Ndidi, Jorginho, Bruno Fernandes, Vardy, and Mane. And in the WhatsApp portal, we have some messages. Dr. Victor from LMS says Dean Henderson of Sheffield United, Wan-Bissaka, Robertson, Virgil van Dijk, Evans, Ndidi, Kevin De Bruyne, Henderson, Mane, Vardy, and Aguero. He says this is sincerely the best. And this Val from Abba is talking to you, Timmy. Says I don't know why Timmy doesn't include his name in the EPL all time. You are the MVP.
All right, okay, before we go on to, let me take this call.
It's one top, man.
Then I would ask the guys for their last thoughts. Hello, good afternoon to you.
All right, this is Hello from Samada. I called back.
Okay, go on with your thoughts. Keep it short and simple, though. You want to what?
No, the state of premiership.
Still suspended indefinitely.
I thought they have cancelled the league.
Don't be thoughting. They will not cancel it.
You're not
okay,
Francesco.
Last thoughts. Let's start with you, Priye. Priye, last thought for everything we've talked about today. Your last thought before we leave the show.
I think we're just waiting. We are eager to see football. We want to see European football, and I think COVID-19 should leave our planet so we enjoy our beautiful game.
Victor?
Not just European football. We want to see football, even if it's MPFL. We just want to see football. But then, I think one thing I've noticed today is the brilliance of so many players. It will be a very difficult job for you to say this is the all time. Just like someone stated. I mean, when I hear some players, I'm like, oh, it's true. Adama Traore, yeah, he's done well. Jamie Vardy, yeah. So when you look at all this, it just shows you how much football has grown and how important the game of football is.
Timmy.
Anybody just carry no carry I came in peace.
All right, let's go back to the phone lines. Hello, good afternoon to you. Give me a very short and simple name. Where you calling us from?
Hello, and good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
I'm calling from Boko. My name is Testegen.
Oh, welcome to the show.
Too much. Testegen?
Yeah, Testegen. Yeah.
You speak English?
Oh my God, we are thoughts.
I'm really enjoying the show. You guys are really picking it up.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you guys. You guys are really making me feel good.
Mm-hmm. We are glad.
I want to get some few updates on Chelsea injury stuff based on the coronavirus. I don't know if their injured players are back, so I would just really like you guys to give me a brief update on that.
All right, if we have time, we'll get you that.
Well, we don't know if the injured players are back because Chelsea has not received or sent any statement about the injured players.
Yeah, they're all back because the only player that was out was Politis, but he's back. I saw a video of him, so the team now is complete.
Meanwhile,
don't have any injury worries anymore.
Meanwhile, in the transfer, they are struggling for Coutinho, but then they said they wanted him on loan. Barca said no, they want to put permanent deal somewhere.
Barca doesn't want him to go on loan anymore. He doesn't.
Yeah. So back to the phone lines. Hello, good afternoon to you. Today's Sports Line.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Your name? Where you calling us from?
Yeah, it's Moses. I cover.
Oh, Moses. Keep it very short and simple.
Yeah, please. I want to ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, our brother Victor Moses. Where is he from? Which tribe is he from?
I know he grew up in Kaduna. His parents were killed there, but I think he's a Kaduna boy. I'm not too sure.
We'll check. We'll find out where he's from.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much for calling into the program. Hello. Good afternoon to you. Today's Sports Live.
Oh, good afternoon, Baka.
Good afternoon.
I'm calling from my father.
All right. Go on with your thought. Keep it short and simple.
Yes, I want to contribute on Mane's move. Where they are facing, moved to Liverpool.
Camara, okay.
I remember where he came from. He came from he was at West Brom, then to Southampton, then they took him to Liverpool, and he's doing well now.
Yeah.
And suddenly he wants to leave to another club. He should remain there.
Okay.
I should remember what happened to what Coutinho is going through now.
Okay.
Thank you. That's my contribution.
Thank you so much for keeping it very short. Hello, good afternoon to you. Today's Sports Live.
Dorcas.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, Koba. Let me answer that guy. Victor Moses came from Edo State.
Edo State, Abi?
Edo State, but he grows up in Kaduna.
All right, thank you so much for calling, Victor. We have any messages coming in?
Yes, we do have some messages. Trying to get them. Well, this message says justice. It says my team of the year: Pickford, Wan-Bissaka, Soyuncu, Maguire, Mendy, De Bruyne, Madison, Grealish, Matic, Vardy, Neto, and Rashford.
Why is Lions doing his face like that? Somebody said to Pickford is doing face.
And then we have Stanley from Port Harcourt saying Liverpool team this season is my EPL team of the season. I think we have one more message where it's giving us his team of the season. It says Henderson, Robertson, Van Dijk, Maguire, Ricardo, Henderson. Okay, yeah, the first Henderson was the goalkeeper. Now this is Jordan Henderson, then Kevin De Bruyne, Grealish, Aubameyang, Vardy, and Mahrez.
Okay, let's see if we can take one more call before we run out of the studio. Hello, good afternoon to you. Today's Sports Live.
Yeah, hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. Name? Okay.
My name is Dennis. I called it before.
Very short.
Who is that Chelsea fan that is there? Chelsea fan that is there.
It's Timmy. I
want to ask you.
Priya is also a Chelsea fan.
It's Timmy?
Yeah. I'm a Chelsea fan too. I want to ask him a question.
Keep it very short. Keep it very short and simple. Ask him.
Okay, I heard that Chelsea want to buy Coutinho or something like that.
No, Chelsea wants him on loan, but Barca doesn't want him to go on loan again. They want an outright sale.
Chelsea is stupid. Chelsea is very, very stupid.
All right, thank you. We've got to your point. You've asked the Chelsea fan the question. But this is where we sadly have to go because I've been enjoying the show, ever since we started. Thank you so much for putting your calls through to us. I'm sorry we couldn't take every call that came in. Without you guys, we wouldn't have been here doing a very good show. And thank you for those of you that sent text messages. I did the show with Priye Zogo, Victor Oriahi, and Timmy came from nowhere, from isolation. He came to join us. Timmy Harrison, welcome so much. Thank you for being here. And I am Dr. Skoki, the sports diva. The second part to be here to give you everything Nigerian football. Thank you so much for making the show what it was, and have a lovely day ahead.
To the place, that high place will be there forever and shine like sun beyond what we imagine. Take my hand, let's go, we can fly. I wanna take you away.
Are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
What a goal! Hangs it up for Ronaldo. Oh, my God!
Experience the glorious goals rush. The heated verbal jabs and even moments of madness. Experience the sensational swings, strokes and shots. The moments of victory and despair. Experience lights out on a majestic night in Singapore and a whole lot more.
On your premium talk news and sports radio station.
Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. Listen to Sports Attack every weekday from 7:30 a.m. and Today Sports Live after the news update at 3 p.m. Stay tuned on Saturdays and Sundays for a bumper edition of Today Sports Live from 1 to 6 p.m. Experience sports in its entirety on your premium talk news and sports radio station. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
My name is Gianni Infantino, FIFA president. For the best of sports, always listen to Today Sports Live on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Hello, my name is Kanu Wanko, aka Papilo. For the latest and trending sports stories, always listen to Today Sports Live on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Central midfield. Oh no, Kanu Wako crosses over to Jejo Kocha and it's a goal!
What is this magic? I need that magic.
Updates, yeah. Oh yeah, baby, see I is a goal. Sangalo is a goal. Shanawale is a goal. Escobar is a goal. Toros is a goal. Naira Mali is a goal. Olosho is a goal. Sainadin is a goal. Is a goal. Is a goal. It's a go, it's a go, it's a go, it's a go, oh go, it's a go, oh this is a go, it's a go, it's a go, it's a go, Jamie Wale is a go, oh this is a go.
All right, always a goal when it comes to Nigerian football on this station. Today, 95.1 FM.
And that's how we say good evening to you and welcome to the second part of today's Sports Live this lovely Saturday evening. The show is reaching you from the studios of a premium news talk and sports radio station today, 95.1 FM, right here in Port Harcourt. It's a goal. Beautiful song there from Naira Mali featuring Olamide, Lil Kesh, and the likes over there, okay? The guys are also in the building. Emeka Dena is my name. I have the Superman, Wisdom Obina. Yes, plenty to talk about today, Superman. Good to have you on the show.
Well, good evening now, Emeka. Good evening to everyone listening and to my colleague here in the building. Of course, there's still a lot to talk about in sports generally. You know, it doesn't end when it comes to stories and also events, you know, when it comes to sports generally. But it's great to be here, Emeka. Another weekend where there is no MPFL or English Premier League or something. But it's great to be here, Emeka. Good evening.
All right. Of course, reliable Reliance Udenyan, the Berechi is also in the building. The man with the longest name. Those days when I was growing up in Port Harcourt, we had Mablas Macaulay Akoloma Jr. as the longest name on radio.
Okay.
But reliable Reliance Udenyan, the Berechi should be the longest now, I tell you.
Hey, guys, great to be here. Good evening to you. Good evening, Port Harcourt. Unfortunately, there is no goal to report. I always enjoyed this song on Sunday evening from 4.
Yeah.
You know, when we have those goals, you know, coming in. You know, so each time there is a goal, we just play it and enjoy. But unfortunately, this is the situation we find ourselves, which I believe it's soon to be over, and then we'll go back to our normal lives. Great to be here. Good evening to everyone listening.
All right. Of course, the show is incomplete without you. As a matter of fact, there's no show here without you. We won't be here if you are not there. And you are so important to us that we want you to also be part of the discussion here in the building. What are we going to be talking about? We'll tell you how you can be part of it, but let's let you know that today we'll be looking back at what Finidi George said earlier in the week. Remember him? Finidi George dazzled like a million stars in the right wing of Nigeria national team back in the day. Was part of the AFCON winning squad in 94 and also the World Cup squad in 1994. I tell you, Finidi George, he played for Ajax and some great clubs out there in Europe. He says the MPFL is less competitive these days, unlike in his time in the league over 25 years ago. Do you agree with him? That's a big question we're asking you. And if that is the case, now, how do we even make the league competitive so it can meet the standard it was back in the day? I mean, ordinarily the league is supposed to be better than it was 25 years ago at least. But today, Finidi George is telling us that the league is even more competitive back in the day. Do you agree with him? And if you do, how do we make the league more competitive these days? So that at least Genoro can look at the league and pick some players from the domestic league, because he recently told us that the reason he doesn't pick up players here is that we don't have good talent here and all that. So that's a discussion for another day. But in the meantime, we wanted to react to Finidi George's comment. Elsewhere, we're also looking at female footballers in the country. Nigerian football fans have been, they have seen so many great female footballers in the past and even present. Now, from the likes of Mercy Akide to Florence Omagbemi to Anne Chejine to Precious Dede to Perpetua Nkocha to Cynthia Owak to Asisa Toshola and Desire Oparanoze, the list is almost endless. Now, amongst all these players I mentioned, even the ones that I didn't mention, and I'm not like they are not relevant, but we want you to describe who you think. Just tell us who you think is Nigeria's best ever female footballer. I mean, that's an easy task, right? I don't know, but it's up to you. The other day, the guys gave it to... the guys were even divided about who Nigeria's greatest footballer, male now, is. Some said Stephen Keshi, some said Nwankwo, some said Mikel Obi, some said Mikel Obi. So, sharply divided. No clear-cut winner right there. But this time around, we wanted to choose. I'm sure it won't be that difficult for the ladies, right? Superman, what do you think?
Mega, it would be a little bit difficult.
Okay, when we get there, we will know what the guys think about who the greatest female footballer Nigeria has produced is. We'd love to hear from you on that one. We'll also be talking about Pelican Stars. They're in a very precarious situation right now. Players and officials of Pelican Stars in Calabar. As a matter of fact, no club in Nigeria has won more league titles than Pelican Stars. They have 7 league titles, even though they haven't been winning anything in the last 10 years or so. Rivers Angels, Bayelsa Queens, National Amazons have dominated the league, but Pelican Stars back in the day dominated the league massively, and they won lots of titles, including 7 league crowns right there. But as we speak right now, their players are protesting 10 months of unpaid salaries and bonuses. Hi. That's a very, very sad to even say. Very hard, difficult to even say it. But that's the situation they find themselves in. Pelican Stars, players and officials of that club. They're based in Calabar. They are owned by the Calabar Cross River State government. We hear that the male team, the Rovers side, have been paid, but unfortunately the girls have been promised severally without fulfillment of their unpaid salaries and bonuses as well, up to 10 months right there. So we want to talk about that. Hopefully we'll have a player of the team join us on the show this evening to tell us the latest regarding that situation. So you now know what we're talking about today. Tell us who your greatest female footballer in Nigeria is. Do you agree with Finidi George that the MPFL these days, is not as competitive as it used to be in the past, especially in the early 90s when himself played here in the MPFL with Sharks of Port Harcourt before going to Europe. Remember, Finidi won the UEFA Champions League with Juan Kwakano as well at Ajax in 1995. They beat AC Milan 1-0 in the final. He played that match from start to finish. It was so good. They don't usually substitute him. It was very brilliant for Ajax back in the day. All right, so what do you make of those comments from Finidi? Do you agree with him? And if you do, we want to know from you, what's your suggestion? How do we make the league more competitive? Our clubs can no longer compete favorably on the continent. So if we have to go back home and say, oh, look at where we're getting it wrong, we want to know how we'll be able to get it right and eventually move forward, making the league more competitive. Back in the day, the Rangers of this world, the ISC Shooting Stars, they won continental titles in the 70s. But today, our clubs are struggling. Yes, Eyimba won the CAF Champions League back-to-back, but trust me, no Nigeria club has won the CAF Confederation Cup before. Dolphins got to the final of the CAF Cup. That was in 2005, and they were well beaten by the Moroccan side, Royal Enforces, right there. But these days, our clubs struggle. They just managed to get to the group stage, and that's just it. They are beaten by Guinean clubs, Sudanese club, and what have you. Why are we getting it wrong? How do we make the league more competitive so that our clubs can compete favorably, not just on the continent, even at home here? The national team handlers will look inwards and say, let's get players from the league. So it's going to be a very interesting discussion we are to have here on the show this evening. We want you to always be part of it. Now, you can be part of the discussion. All you need to do is to send us your messages. But before then, let me also let you know that, these topics we have highlighted are very deep in such a way that we will also need the expert analysis of the likes of China Cheru, who saw it all as far as women football is concerned. He was doing women football before he even moved fully to male football at some point, as it were. We'll also be talking to Mitchell Obi all the way from Lagos. He will be joining us on the phone to tell us what he thinks about the league, because this man saw it all from the beginning till where we are right now. Right from the 70s when the league started, he was there. And of course, he will be telling us what he thinks about the league in Nigeria and the competitiveness with respect to what Finidi George did say. So at some point, they will also be joining us with their expert analysis on the show this evening. But yours is equally as important as theirs. We want you to share your thoughts with us. All you need to do is to send your messages via text or WhatsApp to the same number, 07019339962. And I know a lot of you out there, Sele West, so many other guys out there who, saw the league when it was very competitive, in quote now, in the 80s and in the 90s. We want your thoughts. What was it like then for you, and what is it like now? Where are we missing it? We want to hear from you. We also be you can also join us on Twitter at TodayFM951 at TodayFM951. That's the Twitter handle of the station. You can tweet at us individually. My handle is at Emeka Dana The Superman is there. His handle is at Wisdom_OB. And of course, we have Reliable Reliance here as well. His handle is at Reliable Rely. And any of us that you send messages to via tweet, we'll read your messages in due time. Don't go anywhere. The phone lines will also be open later on in the show. And of course, after this time out, I will be right back to get the show underway.
Great defensive tackle. And there's no telling with these Nigerians
And he makes it to the 18. And oh my goodness, what a goal! No matter the stage, there's still room for greatness. No matter the stage, there's a bit of greatness in every man. There's power to rise. There's power to come.
All right, of course, welcome back. Let's get the show underway this afternoon. Where do we start? Maybe we'll start from Pelican Stars. Yes, the girls who have played football for 10 months without salaries. The Superman, the news, of course, was everywhere earlier in the week. Pelican Stars players, who have been protesting over unpaid wages for 10 months. In fact, for the second time this week, they were at the government house on Wednesday. They were there on Monday, and they also went back on Wednesday, blocking the entrance to the office of the governor, Professor Ben Ayade, staging a protest over unpaid wages for 10 months, including bonuses as well. I don't know. Back to back, we heard that the government have made promises, just before we even went on and I did speak with a member of the team who said they have been ordered not to grant interviews to the journalists, that hopefully by next week Friday, that before next week Friday, that they will be paid, and the girls said they are hoping that they will be paid, but if they don't get to hear anything from the government regarding their payment, that they will still go back to the street to protest. But what do you make of this development? It's quite disturbing from what I could make of it.
Very disturbing, Emeka. And you look at the pedigree of this team. In the past, they used to be the glory ladies of Nigerian football. I mean, when the league began, up until of recent, maybe you want to say, when the likes of Rivers Angels and the other big names took over the stage from them. And it's a little bit unfair to have paid the guys and you've not paid the ladies. It begins to also reiterate the fact that sometimes we tend to look down on female football generally in the country, and the way things are being done, the way we carry around our teams and all that doesn't make too much sense to me. And you look at the fact that this is not the first time these ladies are also complaining or campaigning for unpaid salaries. In 2016 it was the same thing. I think way better in 2015 also the same thing. I mean, again and again they go back for the same thing. It doesn't really make sense. I think we must find ways to keep a balance. We know generally what happens here in the country. Some state governments find it difficult to pay football clubs, and because probably it's too much burden and weight on them. But then again, you have to create plans for these things. You don't run a team. Look at the Rivers State government decided to run one team. I mean, for the guys now, knowing that probably you can't carry the two. It's the same thing. But this one now is not even a female team. Is a normal thing for every state. We are not even crying about bonus allowances. We're also crying about salaries. I don't think it's too good. So, but it's a good thing. Maybe the government have said they would pay them. is one thing to talk in this country, is another thing to actually implement or do it. So good enough, they have made plans to actually pay them, and they've said don't talk to the media. So I'm sure the ladies are hoping between now and Friday, if they don't give us again, then we can start talking. But I believe they might actually look into it, because what concerns females a lot in this country, we the media, we try our best to push it up, because most times they actually look down on them. You look at the successes recorded by our darling Rivers Angels and the kind of welcome they do receive, after winning some of these trophies, and even the league at times, they don't get the same. It's not equivocal. The same respect, the same honor. The guys now talking about Rivers United, they normally receive. Rivers United finished second at some point, were sent to Spain, but we've seen our ladies win the league over and over and over again. Some get in hand. At times it's just a handshake.
Some don't even get any handshake. Yeah.
So I really think we actually need to look into these things. But it's a good thing that they've decided that they would pay them. Let's just keep our fingers crossed and wait till Friday.
All right. It's not the first time promises have been made regarding their payment reliance. It's not the first time such promises have been made. Over time, the Cross River State government have promised to pay these ladies, to no avail. Now, the girls are skeptical about the latest promise. But will you be surprised that come next week, Friday, these girls are not still paid?
I won't be. Why will I be? Owing player salaries is a peculiar situation in the Nigerian system. I wanted to say in the MPFL, but I just remember that we are talking about female football here. So I think that word Nigerian system of football, should be applicable in this case. We've had cases where the boys now go barricading, the entrance of government house of respective states in which they play for or in which they represent, just demanding for their salaries and their wages. So if by Friday we didn't get any positive report that they've been paid, I won't be surprised. It's a case that has been continuous. I'm thinking that it's going to continue like that. I mean, look at the civil service, for instance. Let me digress a little bit into the civil service. We do have cases where the civil servants are owed salaries, for a month, 1 or 2 or 3, and then afterward they started paying them gradually. And then you come back to the football system that is being handled by the same, government. So you expect the same situation until we have, a football system where we have major sponsors that are looking into the league. We're not going to stop hearing cases where players are being owed, where issues, protests are being made with regards to their money. We need a football system in the country, both for the female league and for the male league, now the MPFL, where we have a major sponsor so that the money can start coming in. We can start generating the funds. Once that is being done, there are cases now where you could look at governments themselves, because I think we've talked about this before, that if we want to have a free flow system of football, we need the government not to be like the major players now in terms of administration, because what we have in our country, the football system we have in our country, is that the government are the major players. From the NFF, they still run cap in hand looking for fund from the sport ministry. Yes, so if we don't have such a system, then issues of owing salaries and we'll keep continuing.
Right. So and I'm something thinking that will continue for a while based on the system that we operate right here. The Superman, the ladies have been warned not to talk to the media any longer regarding the situation. I just got off the phone with one of them who said they are not even familiar, because I wanted to have a live interview with the player to know about the situation. But luckily, I was able to get some information. She said, one, they have not been paid yet, but the government has made promises, to them regarding their payment, that come next week Friday at the latest, that they will be paid, and it looks like the whole situation is bringing bad publicity already to the states. Hence the ban on speaking to the media.
Well, one thing,
because the news is even on BBC. It's everywhere. The global media knows about it.
I said it that when it comes to anything concerning females, the media would definitely try to pick it up, so at least they could get a look in. I think one thing is the PR. We like public relations in this country. We like all those. You don't want your dirty linens actually washed outside, especially when it comes to federal government. Some people believe that the beginning of the crisis of Gernot Rohr in the Super Eagles was when he disclosed his salary issues with Sazu Obayinwan at some point. But then again, Emeka, I think it's just the fact that our politicians, they see these things as politics. And just as Reliance pointed out, until we get to that level, that day, or that period in our footballing history where football will be controlled by the private sector, I think we will not stop seeing things like this. They don't want the ladies to probably talk to the press because they are scared of the level of damages that will be done to their reputation.
Image, exactly.
And that's just it. We have, how they campaign and all that. They'll tell you things they've done and all that. They don't want that thing, being rubbed off or maybe rubbing off on their tenure as a sitting government. So I feel, first, for the players, they must also keep talking. The best way to solve a problem when you don't have any other means to go about it.
You risk
is to keep voicing it
if you're too forward about it.
No, definitely. At this point, just as I said earlier, they should wait till Friday. But if they wait between now and Friday, don't take all these promises for what it is. Because as I said here in Nigeria, until the talk is implemented, it is just cheap talk, or maybe the writing. Until it is implemented practically, it will just be ordinary talk. So they should wait between now and Friday. If they don't see anything, ladies, please keep talking.
Reliance. It doesn't look like the government are wicked, such that they don't just want to pay these monies there.
Okay.
It looks like the burden is too much on them. I'm trying to play the devil's advocate here.
Okay.
Over time, I mean, how do you go 10 months without paying salaries to these girls and their bonuses and what have you? Perhaps they don't have the financial strength to take care of all this at the same time. Now, I mean, a wise question would be, why still keep this club? Why not disband this club and let everybody go? And I mean, save yourself the stress. They don't make a dime every month. Instead, the government spends so much money. I mean, over the years, yes, the club has been a household name in the past, but of late, things are no longer what they used to be. They are not even competing favorably. Last time they competed in the Pro League, the lower division, and they managed to gain promotion. And I mean, you're going 10 months without paying salaries. It's something that is not even. It didn't start today. So why continue running this club that at the end of the day doesn't bring you anything?
Emeka, I doubt if the government will tell me that for 10 months they can't afford to pay these girls. I mean, they do. Governments sometimes do have financial constraints.
But yeah,
that's
the
understood.
thing. The government of Cross River State are known, are very famous for paying salaries even ahead of time. I've seen a situation where they pay December salary in November. And they will promise to pay you January in November, and the Rockers are like, no, finish our money, please. Wait.
To footballers?
No, to the civil servants.
That's civil servants, but I don't know, but I still have that doubt. I mean, 10 months. We're not talking about 5 months, But as per the issue of why not disband the club, and then since you're not able to manage them financially, Emeka, the question we ask ourselves most times when things like this come up is, are they looking at football? In fact, generally now, clubs in the Nigerian league, both male and female, are they looking at it as a business venture? Is anybody at the end of the league season looking at the IGR of the club? For instance, now you talk about Rivers United here in Port Harcourt, and then at the end of the league season, the Rivers State government will call the management of Rivers United, sit down, have a roundtable discussion. How much were you able to generate? How much was pumping into the club? What has been your achievements? What has been your successes, over the league season? Do we have that? Are they looking at it as a business venture? Because if they do, any business venture, it is expected that profits will be made at the end. Losses could be recorded as well, but you look out for the profit. So I think these things are not done. If they are done, then they will consider the fact that for some years now, this club we are looking at has not been able to generate anything for the state government. Clubs in the MPFL, as well as in the Women League, they look at them as, how should I even describe it? Just, a particular tenor comes in, a sitting governor sits and then look at what to do for that particular club at that point in time, so that when he's off the seat, if you want to talk about his achievement for his tenure, he count that in. This is what I achieved in my tenure. What is it called now? People's Elephants now. Enyimba were able to win the league back to CAF Champions League back to back.
Yeah,
for
that was a massive achievement for Zakalo, Dr.
You understand?
State,
so that's an achievement. In my tenure, Enyimba recorded their 8th MPFL title win. So they're pumping the money, and the girls and the boys as well, they are happy and everything continue, and then they record it. But it's not being looked at as a business venture that should generate money for the state government season in, season out. Because if that is the case, then there should have been a strategy, a structure on ground, so that any sitting governor that comes in will look at that structure and then work based on that structure. This is what this club has been able to generate for the past 5 years.
No, the club cannot sustain themselves. That's the truth of the matter.
They can't.
There's no structure in place for self-sustenance at these clubs.
Emeka, when you put in money, for instance, let's say you own a club now. When you put in money into that club, despite the fact that the club cannot sustain itself, but you put in money, you expect some profit. You expect your money to be, properly utilized.
But that's not the case with football in Nigeria.
That's what we are saying. So they can't jump into the conclusion of disbanding, because already it looks like clubs in the Nigerian setting now have been politicized. Why do I use the word politicized?
No, they can do it. Rivers State government did it here with almighty sharks, so to say. The traditional club side, here in Port Harcourt, they got relegated and somehow they disbanded the team. And of course, Rivers Dolphins changed the name to Rivers United, and they have only one club instead of maintaining those two clubs.
That's just one case.
Just to save costs.
That's just one case. Now, it's not even. If you want to go into that aspect, now it's not even proper. For one owner to own two clubs running in the same league. We have in Akada, so that's even a little bit separate arguments. But my point is, since these clubs are not seen as a business venture where they pump money in,
and these governments are not even ready to continue pumping in the money regularly. The girls are suffering. Why not disband the team?
but Emeka, I want to just add this. It's been years since I started following the Nigerian league. Now I've never heard sell the club instead of disband. It's always
who is willing to buy?
ABS.
Who is willing to buy?
Sell to who?
Sell to who? Who is willing to buy? All right, let's shift our attention to still on women football, but this time, who is the best ever female footballer this country has produced? That's a big question, right?
Yeah, certainly.
Okay.
Very, very.
Okay, I will go to the profile of some of the players we have in consideration today, but just hazard one word, no analysis yet. Who will you give that honor to? Reliance. Just one. Give us the name of the player.
Oshola.
I start Oshola.
No analysis.
No analysis for now. Well, analysis will come, man. Superman, who gets it for you? Just one player.
It's difficult to.
It's difficult. I just have to mention.
That's why I have to say something.
Not now. You say something.
For now.
I will come back to you.
For now, for 2020, Perpetual Nkwocha.
All right. So let's go to the profile of some of the players we are looking at here. Let's start with Mercy Akide. She's actually 44 years now. In 2001, she was named the very first CAF female footballer of the year by the Confederation of African Football, CAF. Now, she played for so many clubs, including Former Babes, Pelican Stars that we just mentioned, Jigede Babes. Now, her 2 seasons of consistency with Jigede Babes, where she scored a total of 49 goals in 2 seasons, caught the attention of a national team coach, Ismail Amabo, and Mercy was called up to the camp in 1994. About another rush of goals, 17 in the league and 9 in the Challenge Cup, earned her a recall. Now, her international debut came soon after a World Cup qualifier against Sierra Leone in Ibadan, with Mercy playing as a winger. She marked it with 2 goals. She scored 1 more in the return leg to cement her place in the team. In 2001, she was named the first African women footballer of the year and was a 1999 and 2004 FIFA World Cup All-Star. Okay? That was Mercy Akide right there. She has also played for Nigeria in 3 FIFA Women's World Cups and also helped Nigeria's Super Falcons to 3 African Women Championships, as it was called then, in 1998, 2000, and 2002. In November 2004, she married football journalist Colin Odo in her hometown of Port Harcourt. Little wonder a lot of people refer to her as Mercy Akide Odo these days. Now, in 2005, she was named by FIFA as one of its 15 ambassadors for women football. That's Mercy Akide for you. More like a summary of her profile. Let's go to another great player who made her mark as well in the game. Perpetua Nkwocha. Wisdom already named her the best ever. Of course, she's actually 44 years of age as we speak right now. Born in 1976, in January 1976. She was named CAF Best Player 4 times. In 2004, in 2005, in 2010, and in 2011. And with the Nigerian national team, she has participated in 7 CAF Women's Championship editions in 2002, 2004, 2006, 2008, 2010, 2012, and most recently in 2014. Okay, winning 5 of them in 2002, 2004, 2006, 2010, and 2014. At the 2004 African Women's Championship, she scored 4 goals in the final against Cameroon to help Nigeria win the title. She also set a record by scoring 9 overall goals during the tournament and was named the best player of the tournament. Nkwacha was voted African Women's Footballer of the Year in 2004, 2005, 2010, and 2011 by the Confederation of African Football, CAF. Nkwacha has also participated in 4 FIFA World Cups, 2003, 2007, 2011, and 2015, as well as the Olympic tournaments of Sydney 2000, Athens 2004, and Beijing 2008. Okay, we will look at another player. Cynthia Owak is her name. She's actually 33 years now. She left national team quite early, but Cynthia Owak was named CAF Best Player in 2006 and 2007. Back to back, I tell you. She was a member of the senior national team who competed at the 2008 Summer Olympics and the 2007 FIFA Women's World Cup. She missed out on the squad for the 2010 African Women's Championship in South Africa following an injury. It was stated at the time by Coach Yukeri Auchi that this would not automatically mean that she would be left out of the squad for the 2011 World Cup in Germany. Yes, it was Germany in 2011, right? All right. However, when the World Cup squad was announced, Owak was not listed. No specific reason was given for her omission, with a general statement saying the coach has strictly gone with players that are capable of doing the country proud at the World Cup in Germany. She was considered for a return to the national team by Coach Florence Omogbemi in 2016 for the African Women Cup of Nations in Cameroon. The coach was looking at a succession of former players in an effort to bolster the team's chances at the upcoming tournament. Like I said earlier, she was named CAF Best Player twice in 2006 and 2007. Then we'll now go to the one you guys, so many of you are very familiar with, Asisat Oshola. Yes, she's 25 years of age, just 25. And she's been named CAF's Best Player 4 times already, just like Perpetua Nkwacha. All right, Oshola found success as a forward for Nigeria's youth teams, but made most of her early appearances for the senior national team as an attacking midfielder. She was nicknamed Seedorf after male footballer Clarence Seedorf, and has also been referred to as Super Z by her teammates. She was named Best Player at the 2014 FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup and was the top scorer at the tournament with 7 goals. She was also named Best Player and second top scorer with the Super Falcons team, who won the 2014 African Women's Championship. She also won the BBC Women's Footballer of the Year in 2015. In September 2014, Oshola was made a member of the Order of the Niger by then President of Nigeria, Goodluck Jonathan. On the 8th of June 2015 in Winnipeg, Canada, Oshola opened her senior FIFA Women's World Cup account by scoring Nigeria's second goal in a 3-all draw with Sweden. Oshola was also a member of the Super Falcons team who won the Africa Women's Championship in 2016 and 2018. So she won 3 in a row, 2014, 2016, and 2018 with the senior women national team. She scored 3 goals in the 2018 edition in Ghana. And of course, worthy of mention will also be Florence Omogbemi, former captain of the Super Falcons. She was a great defender in her days, led from the back and led Nigeria to the quarterfinal of the World Cup in 1999, Nigeria's best ever outing at the tournament. Patience Avre also made her mark. The likes of Stella Mbacho also made their mark in the national team. Not forgetting Rita Wadike, Patience Avre, and Chejine, the goalkeeper, who is now a coach with Abia Angels. And of course, Precious Dede. I'm sure a lot of you also know her, former captain of the team, Precious Dede. Perhaps you want to also bring in the likes of Desire or Paranoze. What's the name now? The beautiful one, the small beautiful one.
Francisco Odega.
I don't know whether you want to rate her as one of your greatest ever female footballer, or the former captain of the team, Rita Chikwelo, or perhaps the one with Rivers Angels these days, Evelyn Waboku, and what have you. Lots of female players we've seen. All right, so Reliance already went for Oshola why did you go for Asisat Oshola? Now it's time for analysis.
Well, Asisat's contribution to Nigerian football cannot be underemphasized. I mean, the records are there. What she has been able to do, winning.
She is
winning
just 25 years.
at that age.
She still has at least 8 more years to play the game, and you're already rating her the best ever.
That is the thing. That's the thing. I felt at some point, Asisat shouldn't be mentioned just yet. Yes, she has equaled that number.
The record of
Perpetua Nkocha
in terms of number of African women
best player
titles.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Perpetua now only has one African Women's Championship ahead of her. Perpetua has won it five times.
Yes.
Whereas Asisat Oshola has won it 4 times.
Actually 3. 2014, 16, and 18.
Asisat?
Yes. 2014, 2016, and 2018.
Actually, it's not.
Yes,
it's not up to 4 times.
No. In 2014, she was playing under 20. That same year, she graduated to the Super Falcons.
Okay.
2014, 2016, and 2018. 2020, we don't even know whether to hold this here.
No, it's going to hold. So
she, Perpetua has got 2 African women titles
ahead of her. Yeah. So when you look at that, and then also look at the fact that club-wise now, she has played in. Of course,
some big clubs.
Quickly mentioned, Liverpool ladies, Arsenal ladies.
Now in Barcelona.
Now in Barcelona. Even winning the BBC, Africa Women's Best Player of the Year
it's actually
award.
BBC Women Footballer of the Year. It's not just for Africa.
You hear the point.
Yeah, the one Lucy Bronze is holding right now. She won it in 2015.
So I'm just looking at her contribution apart from the Nigerian setting alone. What she has been able to do globally, I think for me in that aspect, she has toppled Perpetua Nkocha. Perpetua was more of, Sweden. The club when she played for Sweden and everything was just centralized there.
You can't count playing for a club as an achievement.
No, why? Why would I count it? You have to be that good before a club comes for you. Yes, now you have to be that good.
Okay.
You have to have been able to make a mark. Within your continent.
No, we are looking at it's an individual and comparison we are doing here. Who is the greatest of all time? Will you rate Oshola the greatest because she played for Barcelona? No. What if she didn't make any mark for Barcelona? Would you still rate her the greatest? Benga Okuno will play for Barcelona. Would you say because that man played for Barcelona, that he's one of Nigeria's greatest ever players? Nobody mentions him.
But you also look at individual contribution in those clubs she played for.
Exactly.
Was she just on the sideline? She wasn't just on the sideline. She contributed immensely.
The first African to score in the Champions League final.
Okay. Although they were
badly beaten by Lyon. Okay. So Superman, let's get your own thoughts. You said Perpetua Nkocha. Why Perpetua Nkocha?
Well, let me start by saying that her club life might not actually tell the story of who she was. But for all those who saw Perpetua Nkocha, she was like a combined, a player who had the combined skills of J.J. Okocha and the intelligence of Nwankwo Kanu all in one as a female player. Over the years, seeing her then, and I think at some point, yes, her generation and JJ's generation clashed. I used to feel she was just the JJ of the females, and we had the normal JJ who did the business for the guys. So I think her records speak for her. She's tasted 7 times. She's been to the African Cup of Nations Women Championship and has won 5 of them. In the process of all those ones, she was also named the MVP in most of those tournaments. She was also the
scoring
top
4
scorer
goals in one final against
Cameroon.
Yeah.
So it tells you a lot about this player, and she was so good that when she decided that she would retire, we would always call her back to come and help us because of the fact that she was that good. I would not discredit Asisat. That's why I said for 2020. Because I know
Asisat is still playing.
Asisat is still playing.
I think ahead of her,
definitely she can do a lot more than what she has done already. But if you look at Nigerian football from first, with all due respect, we have had great players from the female category, like the likes of Mercy Akide. We didn't actually talk about her because I feel her, like the statistics of being the best in Africa. When she came in was 2001 that we started. That was the inaugural edition. She won it, but before then she had been
doing quite well, exactly. In the late 90s.
Maybe that would just be what would rob her off the accolades and all that, because I know the generation of.
But she was equally a great player.
She was a great player, I tell you. From her club days right here in Port Harcourt, the amateur days with Garden City, moving over to Jegede ladies, all those teams now nowhere to be found. But she went there, scored goals for fun. At some point, Emeka, the rumors were that she scored 5 goals per game in her mature days, before a club even decided to pick her. Larry Angels wanted to pick her here in Rivers State, but she opted not to play for them before moving over to Lagos. But we don't probably mention her because, as I said, the current generation, if you even ask them what they will see, is Asisa Toshola. But if we go back, I tell you, Perpetua Nkocha was one of the best things that ever happened to Nigerian female football. At some point, she was part of the FIFA Female 11. That was how good Perpetua was, And you look at the fact that most of the time, we had the young stars to come up to compete with her, but they could not also keep her out when it comes to her performance on the field of play. As I said, the younger generations, one thing we must always try to do is if we can get these clips and watch them again.
Exactly. Go to YouTube.
Yes, it's very easy to just because you're seeing
Nkocha scored so many great goals.
Exactly.
As a matter of fact, for Perpetua Nkocha, Wikipedia has it that she played 99 times for Nigeria and scored 80 goals.
80 goals, yeah.
99 matches. 80 goals. She was almost averaging a goal per game for the senior women national team. She was so good.
Emeka, she was the JJ Okocha that maybe I'll say the JJ Okocha that succeeded. The version of JJ had just won some accolades with it. I'm sure probably he would have measured her at the same level because by her accolades now she sits heads and shoulders above JJ Okocha.
All right. So, but guys, when we talk about best ever player, what should we be looking at? Individual contribution, individual talent, or titles won with club, like we saw Mikel and Nwankwo winning so many titles with their clubs. When we talk about the best player of your generation, what do we look at? Look at what we have today, Messi, Ronaldo, what makes them different from the other players, apart from winning titles?
I think, in my opinion, we should look at the individual contribution because I could still remember that there was a season.
Individual contribution that amounts to what? Success of a team.
Success, yes.
Okay.
Because if
club and country.
Yes, because if you just look at the trophy alone, there are some players that during their time, in a particular club, they could, or within that period where they get to win a particular trophy, injury could become a problem and they are sidelined. And they might not really be, active playing for the club or playing for the country as it is. But if you want to count, provided they were mentioned as part of that team, if you want to count, the laurels that particular player has won, you would definitely add that he won, the Champions League, for instance, or he won the Premier League, or he won the MPFL, for instance, irrespective of the fact that the player was, sitting on the bench all through. When France won Russia 2018 World Cup, there were some players that were basically,
players,
on the bench. But does it rub them off?
Does
it rub them off that they didn't win the World Cup? No. They've won the World Cup. It's added to.
Yeah, the player from there was named World Footballer of the Year. He went to Luka Modric.
So you see, I think individual contribution matters, and then the amount to trophy. Certainly there is no way you can consider who gets to be the best without adding the medals that particular player has been able to win.
So if you have to look at what you just said now, should it still go to Asisa Toshola?
Sure. It still goes to her.
You think she has won more titles than Perpetua Nkocha?
In terms of
national team,
in terms of the national team, yeah,
with the 5 AFCON titles,
certainly
AFCON titles.
Okay. Now let's look at individual brilliance a little bit. On a 20 level in the World Cup.
Individual brilliance, don't even mention. Perpetua Nkocha for me, I don't know.
Maybe so, the Lions did not watch.
I saw Perpetua Nkocha. Even in fact, when you first raised the issue, I was struggling. I was looking for a balance. How to look at Perpetua Nkocha and then look at Asisa as well to see how I can make a balance.
Just
to help me.
Certainly,
that's true. And that's why I said at some point that it may be a little bit unfair to add Asisa Oshoala at this time because this girl still has a lot of years ahead of her. Look at what she's doing with Barcelona. The number of matches she's played.
Messi is still playing, but people are already calling him the GOAT.
That's greatest of all time, by the way. So that's why I'm looking at it from that angle that it might be a little bit unfair to add her at this level, but I just needed to find a balance. She's already in the list, so I just needed to find that extra mile that Asisa had over Perpetua. Certainly, they will all have one age over the other. That's one thing you must understand.
To come in now, individual brilliance. I think there were some games where I would say, yes, 11 players played the game. But Perpetua Nkocha single-handedly turned the fortunes of some games. If you didn't remember anything, you remember the Cameroon final where
She scored 4 goals.
So
Single-handedly
scored
6-0.
4
Exactly.
goals. You know, it caught the attention. That was the goal. That was the game that caught the attention of the Clemens something so that the Swedish club that bought her.
Yeah.
They had to pay $500,000 as a transfer fee for Perpetua Nkwocha at that time. You know, her. As I said earlier, she was like the combined skills of Jojo Kocha and the intelligence of Nwankwo Kanu all in one person. You know, albeit that yes, at some point she started backtracking a bit, but it did not take anything from her performance. Even when age started coming into the picture, you know, she said she was going to retire. I think as at then BBC reported she was going to be retiring in 2010 or so, but because of the fact that she was that good, we're still calling her back to continue, even in her clubs that she continued playing before she now became a player coach. I think now all she does is coaching.
She's
But if you look at it holistically, you look at the games played. Yes, as at this moment, female football has grown. Look at the time of Perpetua Nkwocha and look at this time. This is the time where we now hear of Arsenal ladies. We now hear of Barcelona feminine. During that period of Perpetua Nkwocha, those names they were not as famous. Not that they were not there, but they were not as famous as they are today.
But you also need to put this in. Female football is becoming more competitive now than as that time.
No, I just thought
there are more names.
No, I'm talking about success when it comes to
success.
football.
Success
the fact
recorded.
that she did not have that opportunity to
all right, guys,
fly around to different clubs.
Guys, it looks like this argument is between just two people, Perpetua Nkwocha or Asata or Shola. All right, we have Ikwere man, the one and only China Achiru, joining us on the line. He saw all these players even before they started playing. He saw them. He was writing women football for long before now, and of course he should tell us better who this player is. Now, China, a very good evening to you. Welcome to today's Sports Live. Hello, China.
How are you doing today?
Very well, China. How about you? I hope you're staying at home and staying safe too.
Yes, I'm fine. I'm staying safe, yes.
It's all good. All right, China, I'm sure you've been following the conversation, but if you have not been following, it's about Nigeria's greatest ever female footballer. All right, I will ask you this. When we talk about who the best player ever, is in terms of the ladies now, what should we even consider before we make that argument or talk about it?
What should we consider?
Yes.
I think should be looking at how good the person was on the pitch, what the person's contribution was to probably her clubs and the national team. Basically, we should be looking at that, but I'll look at what the person was on the pitch in terms of ball skills and contribution to the fans enjoying the game. Yeah.
All right. So looking at all you mentioned now, who will that player be for you?
Well, I'm actually caught between two players, and for me, it will be like the Pele Maradona conversation. Yeah, I would want to say Messi Akide, right?
Okay.
Yeah, I want Messi Akide right from when she started, right from when she used to train at the St. Andrew's pitch in Zurich there, when she just signed for her first club and all. I saw her contribution to the club she played, the national team, the AFCON, or the AWC as it was called then, the World Cup, the Olympic Games, and one would say, and because she was more of an outgoing person, she was able to make her mark on and off the pitch. She scored goals. She scored loads of goals. And I want to give it to Messi Akide. But then there's somebody that came in just as Messi's career was going down, and that was Perpetua Nkwocha. Eventually, Perpetua Nkwocha scored more goals than Messi Akide, both at Super Falcons level and at club level. Yes, she did not quite make her mark in the US Women League as Messi did, but Perpetua Nkwocha, when it comes to all, I watched Perpetua Nkwocha from when she was a player, from Rivers Angels, Pelican Stars, and the rest. Perpetua could play. I've seen her play in central defense. I've seen her play in defensive midfield.
Oh, utility player.
Yes, I've seen her play everywhere apart from as a goalkeeper. Then again, she's a goal scorer by excellence, and she was not just a goal scorer, a tapping kind of goal scorer. She had ball skills. Messi Akide had brute force. She could bully her way into any defense. She had good skills on the ball. She had goal scoring abilities. That was Mercy Akide. But if you're looking at individual performance of these players, Perpetua eventually scored more goals than Akide and even played more games at international level than Akide. So I'm caught between these two people. Sentimentally, I might want to say Mercy Akide, but to make a let's face it, I would say Perpetua is the greatest ever as far as the Super Falcons or as far as Nigeria is concerned.
And she was also named CAF African Women Footballer of the Year, winner at least on 4 different occasions too.
Well, unluckily for Mercy, at the time she was in her prime, we do not have that award.
Sure.
Yes, if not, I believe she would have won it every year. But of course, it didn't happen, so you can't tell. So unfortunately for her, we didn't have it when she was playing football. Mercy was just on a different level. When you had Mercy Akide in your team, you are rest assured that if the defense messes up, the attack will score goals. I mean,
the marvelous Mercy Akide.
Marvelous Mercy Akide. When you see Patience Avery on the right, you see Mercy in the middle. Just behind that, you see someone like Nkiri Okosieme. And if the coach, especially when Ismail Amabo coached the team, he wanted to play 2 attackers in front, it would be easy to be Mercy Akide and at some point Okunwa Igumbo. Now Mercy had taken over from a lady called Uche Eukaria, who was scoring goals with reckless abandon, and Rita Wadike. But when Mercy came in, it was a different ball game entirely. She had speed, she had strength, she had skills on the ball, she was good in the air, she was good at her feet, she was different. But for Perpetua was more skillful, she was more sleek, and of course she was more of a utility player. Mercy could play anywhere in attack, right, left, center, and maybe as an attacking midfielder. But I've never seen Mercy play as a defender. I've never seen her play as a DM. I've never seen her play as a CM. So I would say, let me take away sentiment. I'm really very close to Mercy Akide. You know that already.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
her husband is your good friend, Colin Odo.
Yeah, but I knew Mercy long before I knew Colin.
You can imagine.
Yes, I knew Mercy long before I knew Colin Odo. Long before I knew him.
All right, China, you didn't mention Asisa Toshola. That young lady, 25 years of age, has equally done quite well. Where does she rank in your rating?
I can't mention Asisa Toshola. I can't. Probably maybe in the next 10 years, when her career has rounded up, we're going to look at what she has done, because Asisa is still doing it. She's still doing it. Yeah. But what she has done so far does not put her at the level Mercy or Perpetua were in. But like I said, she's still playing, so she could eventually do more or better than them. So I would like to add Perpetua into the mix. Maybe by the time her career has ended, we'll now look at, okay, what has she done? Because yes, she could be better than them eventually. But right now, I would not say she's at that level yet.
And going forward, maybe in the next 10 years, like you said, do you see her surpassing the mark of these other ladies, Mercy Akide and Perpetua Nkwocha?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. If she doesn't let the fame get into her head, even though I've never seen her as that kind of person, she's doing well for the national team. She's clearly one of our best players. Clearly, I didn't say she's our best. She's clearly one of our best players in the national team. Then, she's playing for Barcelona. We must agree that the men and the women game in Europe is not on the same level, but she's playing for Barcelona in the Spanish League, Women League. She's playing in the UEFA Women's Champions League, and she's also doing well. That's why I said, let's allow her to round up her career. You never can tell what her exploits will be in the next 5 or 6 years. Then again, there are more Africa Women Cup of Nations to be won. There are more goals for her to score at international level.
Sure.
Then we can begin to judge her. But for now, I will leave her out of the mix, and I will say it's simply between Mercy Akide Udo and Perpetua Nkwocha. I don't know who else comes close to them.
Not even Cynthia Owak.
No. Cynthia Owak did not play at top up to 3 seasons.
Sure, she was not consistent.
Most of Cynthia Owak's good play was with the Falconets. At Super Falcons level, she only played one Africa Women's Championship, just one. So I wouldn't even rank Cynthia Owak. I would rather be thinking of players like maybe Ukraine, who even played at the World Cup and won the first Africa Women's Championship in 1998. I'll be looking at players like Rita Wadike, but they don't come close to Mercy Akide or Perpetual Quacha, no, they don't come close at all.
Thank you so much, China, for your in-depth analysis and, of course, very expansive knowledge of women football. I told them already that you were doing women football before now, but they won't believe me, but they've heard it now. Thank you so much, China, for your thoughts on the show this evening. China says he has to be Perpetual Quacha, same as the choice of the Superman Wisdom Obin. And of course, Asha Toshola is still a moving train, so to say, according to China. From what she has done so far, it nowhere matches what the likes of Akide and Perpetual Quacha did in the past. But of course, it's a question of your own opinion, but you have to back it with facts. And that's what China has done already. Superman equally did that. Reliance did his as well. But of course, we would like to get you guys involved at this point. Throwing the phone lines wide open for you to have your say. Who is your pick? Yes, the best ever female footballer this country has produced. We are looking at Messi Akide. We are talking about Perpetual Quacha, Asisa Toshola.
Florence Omagbemi.
Yeah, Florence Omagbemi. Name them. Just name them. Rita Wadike, Yukira Uche. Name them. Precious Dede. And Chejine in goal as well. She was so good that at some point we heard she was even pregnant and was still keeping for the Super Falcons at the time. So who do you choose as your best ever female footballer? Earlier we did talk about Pelican Stars, of Calabar, who are being players of the club, being owed 10 months salaries, and where the government has promised to pay them by next week Friday at the latest. 0817 000951 0817 000951. You can also reach us on 0810 9510 951. That's 0810 9510 951. Please turn down the volume of your radio set once you get across to us. Let's hear from you. Hello. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Welcome to today's Sports Live. Tell us your name and your location.
Yeah, this is Dr. Oko calling from Port Harcourt.
Doc, good to have you on the show. Talk to us.
Yes, the truth is that Aisha Toshola is still growing up, 25 years. You cannot compare her with Perpetual Quacha. In fact, Perpetual Quacha at a point, you can call her a combination of both Pele and Maradona of Nigeria.
Wisdom already said something like that. A combination of one Kwakano and the Jejo Kocha.
Yes. She was that.
All right, so for you, who takes it? Perpetual Quacha?
I'll give it to Perpetual Quacha because of the laurels, the awards she was able to gather. But if not, would have gone for Messi because Messi Akide is like the Rashidi Yekini in female football.
For sure.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, Doc, for your thoughts. Let's hear from our caller. Hello. Oh, really sorry about that. We seem to have lost that call almost immediately. You keep those calls coming through. He said Messi was like Rashidi Yekini, with brute, with a lot of force and power, and she scored so many goals, just like Yekini. She's not the very slicky or skillful player, but of course she's very efficient in front of goal those days. Let's get to hear from you. Who do you think is the best ever female footballer this country has produced? We have been talking about that. Let's go back to the phone lines. Hello.
Hello, sir.
A very good evening to you. Welcome to today's Sports Live.
Thank you. I'm Uzo coming from Alu.
All right, Uzo, let's hear you.
I think Messi Akide.
Okay, you tip Messi Akide, okay? All right, Messi Akide. Let's hear from another caller. Hello.
Good evening to you.
Oh, the re-gift. Good to have you on the show. Good evening. Talk to us.
Thank you very much.
I hope you're safe where you are.
To my chiefs in the studio.
Greetings to you, real gift.
Thank you. Well, every time now, Dr. Boy is isolating. So, besides, we are now isolation camp by day. Safe. Well, Morgan in the middle.
Okay.
Will it be possible for the cockroach to get justice in the presence of the chicken?
I don't understand your proverb, man.
Ordinarily, we shouldn't bring in Asisa into this mix because look at the era we are talking about and the other names you called.
Are we not comparing Messi with Pele and Maradona already?
Well, that is for real football. And again, looking at this, we are talking of achievement here, longevity so far. So for me, just like Mr. China said, Asisat is still on the rise.
Okay.
Now, it's between these two ladies. Just like the other.
All right, so who are you giving it to, finally?
Well, for me, definitely I'll go with Perpetua. Looking at all she has achieved and what have you. There's two ways about it. Because when you hold for hand, you don't need mirror to use checker. Thank you.
Perpetua and Kwacha edging it right there. Superman, lots of the callers giving it already to Perpetua and Kwacha. Let's hear from another caller. Hello.
Hello.
A very good evening to you. Welcome to today's Sports Live.
Yeah, this is Camp Nou calling from Port Harcourt.
Camp Nou is in Spain. In the city of Barcelona, precisely. That's the home ground of Barcelona. How can Camp Nou be in Port Harcourt and be calling me? Camp Nou is not even a human being the last time I checked.
Yeah, I'm a Barcelona chairman.
Okay. Oh, yeah, tell us your name, not Camp Nou.
Yes, actually I'm David anyway.
Yeah, don't be changing your identity, young man. All right, go ahead. Don't mind me.
Actually, you are right. That's funny. To be very real and to be very realistic, I'm going to give the best player to Messi Akidi.
Oh, not Asisat, your Barcelona player?
No.
All right. I thought you were going to go with your club.
Are you hearing me?
Yeah, you said Messi Akidi.
Yes, Messi Akidi, but let's call a spade, and let's call black. I'm still going to give it to Messi Akidi, but in terms of skillful performance and intelligent play, I'll give it to Pepe because she was so skillful enough. And can work well.
No, overall, choose one person as your best ever female footballer this country has produced. Just one person.
Okay.
Because you're making two choices now.
Okay. Now the best player ever known or produced is Pepe Nwakocha.
Perpetua Nwakocha. All right. Thank you so much. The man who is nicknamed Camp Nou, the Barcelona chairman, so to say. All right. The calls are still coming in. Let's hear from this other caller. Hello, good evening. Welcome to today's Sports Live.
Good evening. My name is Obi and I'm calling from Roma Hall.
Obi, good to have you on the show. Talk to us.
Yeah, I listened carefully to China. China really captured my mind. You know, I watched all generation of Nigerian female
footballers.
From Ikeria Uche to Messi Akide. In fact,
you didn't watch Choma Jongwa. Did you watch Choma Jongwa play football for the Super Falcons?
She played.
Did you watch Ngozi Zocha and Luis Akpago? You know, these are all big names back in the day. And what's the other one? No, Babalola Bright or something. Biola Babalola Bright or so. But go ahead. These are all old names.
There's a particular point he mentioned, actually. Asisat is still playing. At the end of her career, we can now compare.
Okay. But Messi is still playing, yet we are saying he's the greatest.
Yeah, but there was a time people were pronouncing Perpetua Nwakocha as the culture of Nigerian female football team.
For sure.
Because as far as she's in that team, consider it done. Just like Messi Akide those days. Messi Akide is Yashidi Akide, Didier Drogba. She can score. As far as she's at the up front, goals will enter. So I don't think there's any basis of comparison.
So you are giving it to who?
Perpetua
Nwakocha all the way. Thank you so much. Nwakocha is running away with this one, Superman.
Well, it looks like Emeka because as we established earlier, Asisat still needs some time. How many Nations Cup she don't go? How many she win? You have to factor this in because it's the national team successes, I feel. Because if you look at the time of Perpetua, I'm still saying, just like Messi Akide, there are some factors that did not allow some of them flourish when it comes to European football. But even the small stint that Perpetua had right there in Sweden, she also scored goals. She also performed well. So I think it looks obvious that Perpetua are running away with this one. But the current generation, I doubt if people who started watching football in 2008, 2010.
No, they wouldn't know.
They would probably just focus on Asisat.
Exactly.
The fact that she has been scoring for
They wouldn't have watched Messi Akide. In her heydays, she was almost unplayable. No defender. Was able to keep her quiet. On the field of play.
Even her worst seasons in the MPFL, she was still finishing among the top 2 goals. When they say the likes of Ahmed Musa are breaking records, Junior Lukusa in the MPFL, if you go and look at what Akide did in her days. 16 goals in one league season, 17 in one season, two like that. Also scoring, that's just the league, not talk of the Challenge Cup and the goals she scored. So I think she was really a menace.
Marvelous Messi Akide. All right, let's still go back to the phone lines to get more reactions from you. 0817 0000951 0817 0000951, or you can reach us on the other number 0810 9510 951 0810 9510 951. Those are the numbers to call. Who is the greatest ever female footballer this country has produced? Let's get to hear from you. Alternatively, we go to the text message and WhatsApp platform. They share the same number. But in the meantime, before we go there, let's hear from this caller. Hello.
Hello.
A very good evening to you. Welcome to Today's Post Live.
Good evening. How are you doing?
Very well. Your name and your location?
Okay, I'm Oludare.
Where are you calling us from?
Calling from Romudara.
Good to have you on the show. Ludare from Romudara. Okay, let's hear you.
There's no point of trying to imbibe sentiment. It has to be Messi Akinde.
Messi Akinde for you?
Yes.
Some other people are saying Perpetua and Kwacha.
They got it wrong.
No, it's their opinion. I mean, and you look at the stats as well. Nkwacha did quite well. So why do you give it to Messi Akinde? You?
He has gotten everything. We are talking about the soft skills, talking about goals, scoring, talking about what he has achieved. What he has done so far is laudable. The issue is there.
All right. Oludare thinks it's Messi Akinde. Let's hear from another caller. Hello. Oh, sorry about that. We lost that one. Do well to call us back if you can. The lines are still open. In the meantime, let's go to the text message and WhatsApp platforms. Reliance will have some messages coming through as to who the best ever female footballer in Nigeria is.
We do. This one comes in from Princess Ondo from Roma Parali. He says, my best female footballer of all time is Oshola. And then this particular one comes in from Stephen Tize from Unogo, and he says, you people didn't mention Florence Omagbemi in Nigeria, best female footballer.
I mentioned her. She was the captain of the 1999 squad that got to the quarterfinals. She's captained the team for a long time and even coached the team lately too.
Henry from Ozoba says, hi Sport Crew, I think we would never have someone like Nkwacha. And again, I see that is not up to that level, I beg. And then this particular one, no name attached to it. Your number ends with 2822. He says, Aisha Buhari is the greatest female Nigeria footballer. Okay, that wasn't necessary actually. Let's get to our WhatsApp portal, and then
before we get there, let's hear from this caller. Hello. Good evening to you. Welcome to This Was Live.
Good evening. I am Ben calling from Romibo.
Ben from Romibo. Let's hear you.
All right. To cut the long story short, it is Perpetua Nkwacha.
Perpetua Nkwacha.
He was everything to the national team. In fact, I don't know. I don't know how to describe her because I watched her in my days. So I actually give it to her.
All right. Thank you so much. Nkwacha all the way. Hello.
Good evening to everybody in the studio.
Good evening to you. No photocopy.
Louis.
Oh, is it Louis?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Louis.
Oh, Louis. Okay, sorry. I thought it sounded like no photocopy. Okay, let's hear you, Louis.
Okay. I think, from my own perspective and my own opinion, my best female footballer that I will never forget in Nigeria is Messi Akide.
Messi Akide, the marvelous Messi Akide.
Yeah.
Why?
Because I can still remember this World Cup, like when Nigeria was losing 4-0. Like she nearly cried. She was like the kind of spirit of leadership that she was bringing to the team. No, you cannot lose this match. Like I think she wanted to carry Nigeria concede that goal. And before I knew it, she made it 1-1. And when she made it 1-1, she actually wanted to put herself naked on the pitch because she was not all about the goal, but she was playing the football with a passion as if she's representing her country. You understand? Not all about the money. Not all about the money. Okay, they are not paying out our bonuses in the camp. They are not visiting or the person is not going to visit us. Like, she was playing that tournament with a passion that she was very happy as she was putting on the green jersey. And such character and such person right now in the Nigerian team, I think is very, very hard to find. So
all right. Thank you so much. Louis, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. He says it's about her patriotism. That's coming in from Louis. They are giving it to Mercy Akide. We have more messages coming through the WhatsApp platforms. Reliance?
Yes, we do from the WhatsApp platform. This one says the Cross River government should pay up these girls because a worker deserves his wages. If they can't maintain the female football club, they should scrap it off. Up till now in Nigeria, football is still battling with payment of staff. Emeka, my brother, it is an indelible shame. All-time Nigeria-based female footballer for me is Perpetua Nkocha. Anytime, any day, I go with Perpetua Nkocha. Unfortunately, he didn't include his name. Your number ends with 2028. Back to the SMS portal. Greetings all. I am Temi D from Port Harcourt. My best female player is Azizat Oshola. My regards to Vera Okolo.
Okay. All right. Vera Okolo also did well, but of course, she didn't last long, just like Cynthia Owak in the senior women's national team. But she was a very skillful player as well. But come on, you can't compare her to Kwacha or Akide. It will look like comparing Pedro with Lionel Messi. All right. Let's go to the next item today. Finidi George, you know him. Former Super Eagles winger Finidi George has said that the Nigeria Professional Football League is no longer competitive, unlike when he was playing in the league in the early 90s. Now, George, who moved from Sharks of Port Harcourt here to Ajax Amsterdam in Holland, went straight into the first team of one of the best European teams at the time. Now, the former Real Betis and Spain winger admitted that the standard of the MPFL is so low and it has affected the players while making it difficult for them to cope with the higher standard in Europe. I will quote Finidi George. He said, the Nigerian league is not that competitive any longer. The level has dropped, and when players from the league find themselves in Europe and see that the standard is higher than what they are used to, they find it difficult to cope. I think that is the major problem most of our players are having in Europe. Finidi George says the standard has dropped. Now, Finidi George, who alongside Nwankwo Kanu are the first two Nigerian players to win the UEFA Champions League, has expressed interest in coaching Nigeria as well. We'll not talk about his coaching interest. Let's just leave it at the league. He says the league, that the standard has dropped drastically, and of course, is no longer what it used to be in the past. According to Finidi, our players cannot even cope when they go to Europe because the standard of the league here is so low that they are exposed, so to say, when they go to Europe and they struggle and all that. Superman, you're shaking your head. Is it in affirmation or in disagreement to Finidi George?
Emeka, the thing is, if you look at the way things are today, and if you manage to see those days, you just ask yourself how the mighty falling, because the kind of things you hear about the Nigerian league these days is nothing to write home about. So I think Finidi George, he has a point. A lot of things have changed since these days. Quality has dropped. The patronage, followership, and all that stuff has actually dropped. And I think the level of instructions, the level of preparedness, the hunger too, and the way we pick players, a lot of factors have come in, negative factors that I feel have changed the course of the game.
All right.
Now, before you get to feature in an MPFL club these days, you have to probably play in the feeder team for a very long time. You look at the quality of coaches that are even grooming these our young stars to come up. You look at the kind of instructions that is being dished out to them. If you put all these things together, you tend to just agree with what Finidi has said. A lot of things have actually gone left now, or sour, when it comes to the MPFL, and it has affected everybody, including the footballers. So if they say footballers go outside there and find it difficult to thrive, it is true, because the state of football in the country, you play a game where they tell you, see, this game, all you have to do is go inside, commit suicide, and come out alive. That is not a tactic.
All right. Let's cross over to the Center of Excellence, Lagos. They are still on lockdown, no doubt. And of course, the master, Michel Obi, the president of the Sports Writers in Africa, joins us live on the show this evening, all the way from Lagos. The master, a very good evening to you. Welcome to today's Sports Live in the Garden City of Port Harcourt.
Thank you very much. We are effectively in the epicenter of the lockdown, and this is where it matters. If we can handle Lagos, maybe we can handle Nigeria. And so everybody is on the edge, waiting to see if the President Buhari will continue or expand the lockdown. It's supposed to expire by Monday evening. That's in 2 days' time. But we are in the Easter mood, and let me say a happy Easter to all of you in a city where the garden is yet to be cultivated.
Well, some say it's now the garbage city, no longer garden city. I don't know, but that is how the situation on the ground here, the master. I'm sure you're staying safe over there in Lagos as well.
Safety is of the Lord.
The master, you even said something about Isaiah 26, is it 26, 23 or 23, 26?
Isaiah 26, 20. Go home and lock your doors. Hide your face. Until the Lord's anger has passed.
Well, not to say that coronavirus is from the Lord.
No. I don't you see, He gave us the earth and the fullness thereof. And we are, as they say, we are more than conquerors. And we have to conquer this. And I think if we stay faithful and sincere to the lockdown, we'll find an edge. But I'm getting worried, Emeka, I must tell you. The Chinese connection to this virus is not uplifting. And when you look at even what some of our compatriots are going through in China, you want to ask yourself why the Chinese are even allowed to even come and find a home here, actually, to even give us the impression that they are
coming to help us fight the virus.
Yeah,
it's a shame. It's a shame from the authorities, as a matter of fact. But Mitchell, we wouldn't be delving so much into all that. Lots of politics and government involved in that one. But having said that, let's come back home here. The master, you saw it all from the beginning till even this day. Talking about league football. A while ago, we spoke to China Chiru regarding women football. I remember him telling me that, back in the 80s and 90s, when he didn't have the luxury of watching any league match, all he needed to do was to read your column, in Vanguard, in Guardian then, and of course, the match report was as if you were in the pitch, watching the game right there. But these days, you no longer report the league, the master. What is happening?
No, those were the good old days when we needed to really bridge the gap. Even people used to go to the stadium then with our newspapers, the preview of the game. They wanted to use it perhaps to get themselves prepared to watch a game full scale. That was when the business of sports, business of football specifically, had its own different level of impact. The money was not obvious, but as they say, you can get dividend even from those who don't even pay cash. And so we had fans who were passionate. We had people who believed in it. And coming specifically to your question, women's football, when Blatter said the future is feminine, Blatter wasn't talking about simply the game. He was talking about the ability of the women to carry the whole family to be involved in football. And that's what the strength of women football have. When the MLS came into America, it had a pool which even Americans did not even understand. That even when America hosted the World Cup in 1994, what came out of there was not even the expansion of the game in terms of men. It was the expansion of the game in terms of the women. That's why the women in America will tell you that they want to be on equal par with the men when it comes to remuneration. You saw what they did in France when they won the World Cup. And even their captain really talking one-on-one with Bush and telling Bush what he expected of Bush. And, I'm talking about Bush. I'm talking about Trump. I said Bush. how age has done me in. I mean, I'm talking about...
You have the George Bush era, Ronald Reagan era.
That was effectively when the World Cup was. We are saying that the women's football is stronger now, and FIFA with Gianni Infantino says it's going to go into the reserve fund of FIFA. I wonder whether that fund is not depleted because 10 million was brought out of it to support the World Health Organization for the corona. He says it's going to go into that fund to support the women's game, and that they are looking to how to really create a Women's World Cup that will be different. And I think that is good. And we can take a cue from there and see in Nigeria where women's football has a very solid base. It started even from your Rivers and Delta State. That's where women's football had good roots. And even today, Rivers State stands out with the River Angels. They have produced can I count them? One, two,
the time will fail you, the master. Time will fail you. The master, let's still stay with women football in Nigeria because a little bit of debate here. In your own rating, you were there. You were there when it all started. Who would you rate as the best ever female footballer this country has produced? The Mercy Akides, the Perpetual Unquachas, the Magbemis of this world, perhaps the little girl Asa Toshola these days. Who would you rate as the best ever female footballer?
Let us not go there. Perpetua is the answer to our JJ.
Unfortunately, she cannot play with the men.
She cannot. She tried with the men. She used to practice with the men, and so you can't take it away from Perpetual Culture. She traversed 2 generations of women's football, and that is her strength. And here is how many times African Player of the Year? Is it 3 or 4 times?
4 times.
4 times. She's the quintessential Nigerian footballer. She has the strength. She has the speed when she wants to apply the speed. She has the unyielding presence that she can be stubborn with the ball. Then she understands team spirit, and then she's humble. So she's a player that had all the mix. Her biggest underpinning was that she was not charismatic.
All right, sir. The master, let's come back to the league where you had sway back in the day. Today, it is no longer what it used to be, according to Finidi George. Finidi George, the former Super Eagles man, says the league is no longer as competitive as it was in the early 90s when himself played for Sharks before moving to Ajax, where he